During World War I, Hercule Poirot comes up with a plan to aid the Allied forces in reclaiming land from the Central Powers, but he is unable to prevent his captain's death from a bomb that disfigures Poirot's face. Nurse Catherine, his girlfriend, looks after him and encourages him to grow a mustache to disguise his scars. Poirot goes into a club in 1937 where jazz musician Salome Otterbourne is performing. He sees Jacqueline Jackie de Belfort introduce her fiancé Simon Doyle to her childhood friend, heiress Lynette Ridgway, who offers him a job. Lynette hires Simon on the spot, and sparks fly between the two to Jackie's dismay. Poirot is on holiday in Egypt 6 weeks later when he runs into his acquaintance Bouc and meets his mother Euphemia, a well-known painter. Poirot is introduced to Lynette and Simon, two of Bouc's pals who have recently married and are on their honeymoon. The honeymoon is joined by several guests: Lynette's longtime maid Louise Bourget, Salome's niece and manager, and Lynette's old classmate Rosalie, Lynette's communist-leaning godmother Marie Van Schuyler's nurse Mrs. Bowers, Lynette's cousin Andrew Cachadurian, who is in charge of Lynette's will, and Dr. Linus Windlesham, who has been engaged to Lynette before she left him for Simon. Lynette and Simon seek Poirot's assistance since Jackie has followed them there, having turned into an obsessive stalker seeking to reclaim Simon after their engagement fell through. The pair decides to take the ship SS Karnak with their guests to get away from Jackie so that they won't spoil their honeymoon. Lynette, on the other hand, acknowledges to Poirot that she is paranoid and distrustful of her visitors. In the meantime, Bouc confesses that he is in a relationship with Rosalie even though his mother disapproves of their relationship. Poirot approves of their relationship and Bouc encourages Poirot to find love. Poirot begins to develop an interest in Salome, a charming woman. Lynette and Simon narrowly avoid a crashing boulder, and the guests return to the Karnak only to discover Jackie has already boarded. Lynette and Simon decide to leave the next morning and say their goodbyes to Poirot. An intoxicated Poirot encounters Jackie, where we discover that he lost Catherine because of a mortar explosion which led him to close himself romantically. While Lynette leaves to sleep for the night, Simon confronts and insults Jackie, prompting her to impulsively shoot at his leg before immediately feeling remorse and kicking her gun away. Louise finds Lynette shot in the head the following morning and her precious jewel necklace stolen. Poirot, joined by Simon and Bouc, begin interrogating the guests and unravel possible motivations. Jackie is ruled out as the killer due to being monitored by Bowers all night. Louise was supposed to leave Lynette's employment after getting wedded, but Lynette forcefully ended her engagement to keep her as her servant. Windlesham is revealed to be part of an aristocratic family, but has given up his privilege to help people as a doctor. Bowers was also from a wealthy family, but she and her workers were evicted from their lands because of Lynette's parents. Poirot deduces that she isn't Van Schuyler's maid but her lover. Andrew had nearly let Lynette sign an edited contract that would have embezzled her, had it not been for Rosalie's intervention. He also possesses a big gun. Salome has a gun similar to Jackie's in her headdress. Euphemia spots Lynette's necklace among her things and reports it to Poirot, who begins suspecting her as well. Jackie's gun, the murder weapon, is ultimately found wrapped with Van Schuyler's missing scarf and missing 2 bullets. Poirot gathers Bouc, Euphemia, Salome, and Rosalie, and reveals that he was hired by Euphemia to spy on Rosalie to see if she's a suitable love for Bouc. Despite Poirot's blessing, Euphemia still refuses to give them her blessing to Bouc's distress, while Rosalie berates Poirot for deceiving them. Louise is found dead in the water wheel, with her throat slit and money found among her things. As pressure raises high among the guests, Poirot sees the shape of a possible witness near blood splatter from Louise's murder. Poirot and Simon interrogate Bouc, who's bewildered at his own friend is suspecting him. Poirot deduces that Bouc had already found Lynette dead. He stole her jewel necklace and placed it in his mama's things to implicate her for stealing, therefore giving him and Rosalie freedom from her. He also witnessed Louise extorting money from the killer before she was killed herself and threw his coat in the river as it was coated in Louise's blood. Before he could reveal the killer, Book is assassinated from afar. Poirot chases after the killer and fails to catch them, only finding Andrew's gun left behind. Motivated by the death of his closest friend, he and the crew of the Carnac lock the surviving guests in the boat's bar, having solved the murder. Poirot gets Andrew to confess that he'd thrown the boulder at Simon and Lynette as an act of despair, but he's adamant that he wasn't the killer. Poirot reveals that Simon is Lynette's killer, with Jackie as the architect. They are still lovers, as they arranged Simon's romance with Lynette so Simon would inherit her wealth once she's dead. Having pretended to shoot Simon, Jackie managed to distract Book and Rosalie, while Simon used paint stolen from Euphemia to fake his injury. He used the short amount of time to kill Lynette, with Louise witnessing it, and then shot himself in the leg with Van Schuyler's scarf as a silencer in time for Windlesham to arrive. Simon later disposed of the murder armament, while Jackie later killed Louise and Book. Engaged in a deadlock with Poirot and Salome, Simon attempts to escape with Jackie, but Jackie, knowing there's no escape for them, shoots through both of them, killing the two lovers. The passengers disembark, with Salome confessing that she was interested in Poirot before he showed his cold personality in his work. Poirot later appears to try and pursue a relationship with Salome as he watches her perform in London, and he shaves his trademark mustache as a means to let his guard down. This was our summary of the movie. Let's reiterate the important points quickly. Lynette was killed by her husband Simon because he married her for her money and was scheming with his ex-lover Jackie. He was supposed to get her money after she died. Louise the maid got killed by Jackie because she saw Simon leave the room of Lynette after she was killed and was threatening him for money. Book got killed by Jackie because he knew the killer and was going to tell Poirot about it. Jackie and Simon got killed by Jackie because she knew they weren't able to get out of this mess.